Hi everyone, I'm Shauna and welcome to my channel. Today's video is actually my Project Pan finale. I know, I kind of can't believe it either. I decided to end my project before the end of the month for one kind of main practical reason, is that there's very few products in here that I could finish by the end of the year. But more importantly than that, I really feel like at this time of the year, I want to wear whatever I want. I want full freedom, full reign. And when I have a project, I feel a huge sense of obligation to use the things in that project. So it allows me to suspend my project for just a couple of weeks. I really just want to be able to use whatever I want this time of year, as well as figure out what I might want to put into my project next year and kind of experiment with some of those items. So I'm bringing you my finale just a little bit early, and I did not expect to make this decision last month when I rolled in some of my products. If I knew that, I wouldn't have done that. Let's get into it for the finale, the last video in the year. First up is my Pure Primer. I made way more headway on this product than I thought. Last month I was there and now I'm about here. There's just still like a lot of air in here. I'm pretty close to finishing this, and I don't think had I given this another month I would have finished it. I probably would have needed like 5 or 6 weeks to finish this. That's just my guess. There is a chance I could have finished it this past month. I did use it 14 times, so pretty close to 15, which is a lot for me at this kind of juncture of my life. But I've been filming a lot of videos, so that's one of the reasons why I used up this product. I'm a little sad about it because I love this so much. This might be like one of my favorite discoveries of the year. I mean, like within my own collection, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have this and keep it for just a little bit longer. Next up is my It Cosmetics CC cream, and this guy is fully done. There's really nothing in here, and I used this 11 times before it finished, so quite a few, and it only finished just a little while ago. I am very happy to have this out. I think the majority of the uses for this were mixed in with something, and I did not use it alone because I don't like this. So I'm really happy to get this out, and I'm really excited to have one roll out this time around. I'm pretty sure this next product has been in here all year, and that is the MAC concealer. Let me just put this top down somewhere. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. I am considering this done, or I'd like to consider this done and roll it out, and I think even like maybe even just toss it, because this is no longer pumpable. The product is finished except for what's on the sides. So my guess is there's probably 7 to 10 uses. No, not 10. I think maybe 5 to 7 uses based on what's around the side. So I'm thinking, like, is it worth it? Because I know I'm gonna have to be like scraping and scraping and scraping it. Do I want to do that? And then I have to take the top off every time. I'm not sure that I want to be doing that every time, especially because I've come to realize that this is not good all year round. It's really drying, and it's really drying for me this time of year. And while I'm wearing it today, I just don't love it. So I just don't know if I want to faff around with this and really scrape the sides to get every drop out. Let me know your thoughts, because in my opinion, there's a difference between like, oh, there's 10 or 15 uses left and there's just a couple. This kind of falls somewhere in between. So I am going to call this done for now, and I am not going to throw it out, because just in case I change my mind, I don't want to kind of be impulsive and waste product. So that is where we are on that. Now, as for the Bite Beauty lipstick, that we're calling her officially done. I cannot find it anywhere in my house. Like, I have cleaned this place, I have vacuumed, not vacuumed, I've Swiffered, I've mopped. I cannot find it. It must have rolled under the bed or something. Like, I've even lifted out my drawers. I can't find it. I don't know where she went. Will I find her when I move? That's probably when, if at all, I will, but she's gone. So she is officially done. Next up is my Ofra lip pencil. Guys, I made a lot of progress this month. Just, can you see that jump? There is no other month on here where I've used quite as much. I'm really proud with the progress I've made on this product. And here is the thing. She is tiny. I'm going to likely roll this in for the next project. It's just kind of killing me a little bit because this is the second year that it's been in the project, and I thought that I would finish it this year. Quite honestly, I could have, had I used it a little bit more each month. For many of the months I was only using it like 3 times. I used it 10 times this month. So if I had just used it a couple more times for a couple more months, we would be in a bit of a different place. But I also recognize that this color, I just don't feel the point in wearing this because it's so close to my lip color. It doesn't really feel like it's doing anything. Whereas if I have a red lipstick, I really see the point in that because it really helps to define the lips. Whereas this doesn't really do that because of the color. So I understand why I haven't used it as much as I wanted to. So it is a bit disappointing in that regard, but you know, I get it. So you will likely see her in next year's project. I rolled in 3-ish kind of products. And the first is the Quo Beauty Lip Oil. When I take out the stopper, just look at how much I've actually used of the product. It's quite a bit. I used this about 40 times. I think it might actually be a little bit more than that. I did lose some count. For a product like this, like an everyday at-home lip product, I tend to lose count because I will keep it on my bedside table and I'll just use it as I see fit. Lip oils just aren't my thing. I don't really see the point in them because I would rather a lip gloss because they're not as moisturizing. So I'm like, why would I put something on my lips that's not as moisturizing as a lip gloss or a lip balm? This just actively dries out my lips, but that's not this product in specific. It's every lip oil out there. So I just don't think lip oils are for me. And I guess with the stopper, you can see that I used it pretty good amount of time. Well, 40, but the difference is noticeable. So I don't know, the jury's still out if I'll roll this into next year's project. I'm really not sure at this point. I'll probably keep this by my bedside table still and just kind of use it as I see fit, and we'll see where we are in January. Next up is the all-nighter setting spray. Guys, we're like down here. I didn't mark it because there's so little left. I think it's just a couple of uses, somewhere between 3 and 5, I think. I used this 13 times, well, 14 including today. So we're so close. I'm really bummed that I can't finish this. Had we gone into January, this totally would be gone, but I know that this will be finished organically regardless, and I think you'll still see this one in the year-end empties because we are really close. I do want to give you an update on the Fenty Gloss. Before that, the last thing in here were my little perfume samples. I used these about 5 times, 6 kind of at most. I used this one the most. I think I only used this one once. Putting these in the project really reminded me how much or the importance of putting these into the project next year. Maybe not these ones in specific, but perfume minis as a whole, because I do need help using them, and it's a step that I would like to use regularly, but I often just forget about it. So I didn't really use these as much as I wanted to, and neither of them are finished, but I also forgot how long it takes me to use perfumes, even when there are many. Okay, so the last thing to update you on is the Fenty Gloss. I think you can see that I've used this just a little bit more than it was previously. I saw all of your comments and I did use a Q-tip in there. Actually, a couple of times I used the this applicator, which I'm really glad that I did, because I don't know if you can tell, but there's sparkles in this product now, and there were never sparkles before. That is a direct result of putting this into the Fenty Gloss and then putting it onto my lips and then putting it back in the tube. I really like the addition of the sparkles in here, so I'm not mad about it in the slightest. I did not use up all the product because there's still a little bit back here. The reason for that is I could only keep this on my desk standing up. You can see, I think, that there's like right here along this edge, there is where like the gloss has seeped out. I can't put this in a purse because I need a Q-tip to wear it, and I can't really do anything with it except use it when I'm sitting on the computer, and at that point it just felt super forced, and there's just like this smallest amount of product left. So I did use this a few more times, maybe somewhere between 7 and 10, and there's probably 3 to 5 uses left in here, and I was just forcing myself to use it at that point. It wasn't enjoyable. It felt like a chore. I had to have a Q-tip out. It just wasn't fun anymore. So now she's done. I've officially called it, and and so that's the end on the Fenty gloss. The very last thing to update you on is the Hourglass palette. I think I made some major progress. I really thought that I could finish the bronzer. We're so close on that, as well as this powder here too. We're really close on this one. Now, I talked about potentially panning the 4 kind of main products and then leaving the 2 blushes and calling it done. I think I've changed my mind on it. The final decision, I guess we'll see for January, but this palette was $105. Now that makes each pan in here $17.50 approximately, which means that these 2 pans right here are $35 worth of product. And you know, I'm somebody who doesn't like to be wasteful, but I'll throw something out if it's not working or if I can't give it to somebody. These are fully in my wheelhouse to use, like I'm fully capable of using them, so I want to use them. And I think next year the goal is going to be to completely pan this palette. I don't actually know if I could do that with these blushes, especially because there's 2, but I really think I want to give it my best and really do my best to try and completely pan this palette. 1, to get my money's worth, and 2, it would be so satisfying to completely finish a palette. I've never done that before, and there's a lot of product in here, so I think that would be really amazing, a personal accomplishment to do for next year. So that is kind of where my mind is at on this palette. I'm really pleased with the progress. I think I did a really great job. We'll see where we're at next year in terms of how much product is left in each container and how much I'm gonna have to use, but that's where we're sitting at with that product. So that is the finale. I've used so much product this year. I've used a handful of foundations, at least 3, I think actually 4, and I've used up a lot of lip glosses. I used up some powders, some bronzers. This has been a really fulfilling project pan year, and you'll see all the products that I finished this year in a year-end empties video. That's probably going to come in January, most likely. So yes, I want to give myself to the very last day of the month to use everything, because there's a lot of products, especially skincare, that are really close and I think could make it into that video. So thank you so much for following along with my project panning journey this year. I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I think you guys have enjoyed it too. Thanks so much for being here, and I hope to see you in next year's project pan. coming at you in just a few short weeks. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.